Okay, so let's continue. I say understanding support and resistance in respect to demand and supply, right? So support and resistance is the price level, right, or key level where like market react from due to forces of um, demand and supply, right? Due to the force of demand and supply, respectively. Well, if we say support is the same as demand zone, right? And resistance is the same as supply zone. So understanding demand and supply first. I thought, okay, I have this here. So support and resistance are key level where price react from due to like force of demand and supply, respectively, right? Respect to supply, while resistance same as supply. So you can write it down. So understanding demand. Demand is just like buyers, right? It's when like there are buyers willing to push price up, right? Increase in demand pushes price higher, right? When high demand, when we have like high demand, that means price is going to go higher. Like there are a lot of buyers in the market, right? So let me show you example of demand. And in this class, I will use framework to show you how to identify demand and supply because I don't have enough time right now. So maybe next class that I will schedule, I will show you in the live market. So pay attention, right? So demand is, I said, is when like there are buyers that are willing to push price up, right? We have something like this, right? Present pullback. So this zone, we then have something like this, right? Like price ranging around this zone, ranging. So we the buyers, we then have impulsive where the buyers push it price up and break the recent high, right? So this zone, like we have a little range that buyers finally like broke the range. This zone is our demand zone, right? It's our demand zone. Why? Because the buyers take control of the market. There are a lot of demand in the market, right? Demand means buyers, right? Demand is equal to buyers. I need to write this down. So, say demand equals to buyers. So, no, where is plus? Because buyers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Demand means buyers. Demand is a zone where like there are a lot of buyers, right? So in this case, this is our demand zone. We mark from the upper range to the lower range, right? We mark from there. So in future, we can then see like price pullback to tap this demand and continue the trend. Why? Because the institutions like the big banks, right? They have their orders that they let in this demand zone. So we see price like pullback to tap this demand zone, trigger the limit order movement, the upward move. Hope you are getting me, right? Lots of buyers that push it price up, right? And we see price like pullback to tap this demand zone. To tap this demand zone. Why? Because the big banks have their orders that they want price to retrigger before like the continuation of the move. In this place, they push price up. In this place, right? When price is ranging, the buyers take control and push price up. And we then see price pull back to tap this demand zone before the continuation of the move. Why? Because they have their limit order, the rest of their limit order around here, they want price to like trigger before the continuation of the move. So the same thing with the supply zone. The supply framework now, right? You can get it down in your book because you need to be jotting things down so you can backtest well, like after the class. So supply zone, supply equals to sellers. Okay, supply zone is when more sellers are willing to sell at a certain price, like right? Supply increases, pushes price lower. When there are a lot of supply, right, they push price lower. When there are a lot of sellers in the market, they push price lower. Let's say, for example, we're in downtrend, right? We have higher, lower low, right? Lower low. Let's see price in this zone. Okay, let me come in. Okay, we have lower high. Then we see price like ranging in this zone, right? Then the sellers then push price, break out from this zone, right? Price break out from this small range and push price lower to break the previous high. So this zone, the price range, this is our supply zone, and we expect price to come back. We expect price to pull back and trigger. We expect price to come back to trigger those limit order that are left in this supply zone before the continuation of the move. We are getting me. It's a zone where like there are lots of buyers with ranging in that zone, ranging, right? Then the seller then take control and push it price lower. So this zone here, this is our supply zone. We expect price to pull back and trigger those limit order because I told you before, the big banks, right? They set the limit order. They push its price down, right? But they set limit order for price to pull back to trigger those order for continuation, right? That's why in market, no, let me know, go to market structure, right? Let's focus on what I'm doing right now, supply and demand. So why did I say like supply and demand is related to support and resistance? A support level, a support level is a price zone where there is a strong demand zone, right? It's a strong zone. A support is a support. Let's say let me, if you have this down, so let me write. Okay, demand zone. Uh, Demand zone plus support level. Level cost to buyers, right? Right? These are the zone where there's buyers that are willing to push price higher, right? So why the support demand zone is related to support level? Let's say, for example, we have something like this: price creates a demand, price and pullback trigger those order and continue from the demand zone. We then see price again and push that demand zone, right? And continue the upward move. This demand zone is now a strong demand zone that supports buyers, right? That support that zone. That yes, that support that zone. That price cannot like trade lower from that zone. Price support the level, right? Price support the level. That's the relationship between demand and demand zone, strong demand zone. If you see price react from the demand zone, so let's say this is the first reaction, right? We then see price pull back to tap the demand zone before the continuation. This demand zone is now a support level because it's a strong demand zone. It's a strong demand zone. Support level is a level that prevents price to go lower, right? It prevents to go lower. It's a strong demand zone that prevents price to go lower. Like it support buyers to push price higher. You all are getting me right? So that's it for support and demand. The same thing goes to supply, right? Supply, which is close to resistance zone. Supply close to resistance to buyers. No, sorry, sellers. Right? So supply zone is a zone where there are a lot of sellers that pushes price lower, right? So we have, let's say we have something like this, drop, right? Then pull back, trigger those orders in the supply zone and continue the movement. You then see price pull back again, tap that supply zone and continue the bearish move. Why did this happen? It's because the supply is strong, right? It's a resistance zone is when like they are like the supply zone is very strong to push price more as like respecting that zone over and over again. So like how do we know if a demand zone is valid? If you want to like identify your demand zone or supply zone, you need to like follow the trend. You need to follow the market trend, right? After a break of structure, and every supply or demand zone must. But break of structure, if you guys did not know like how to identify break of structure is for another class, right? This we have just focused on supply and demand. So we see something like this in price. Price like pull back to break the. So this is our demand zone that we expect price to pull back and trigger our orders before the continuation. The same with the supply. See something like this, right? Price break the previous low, and we see a reaction. For a support and resistance are zone that we expect like a multiple touch. We expect multiple touch in price. That's why I told you guys, like for this supply zone, after the first touch, right, of our supply zone, we then see price pull back to trigger to tap the supply zone. This is showing us a strong resistance zone because we have multiple touch, right? We have multiple touch. First, we use our supply zone. Or we, no, sorry. We take our entry and we wait for price like to tap that supply zone. So we wait for price to like tap that supply zone, supply that turn to resistance. We call it a resistance because it's a strong zone that like where there are like sellers maintain their positions, right? There is a strong zone that sellers maintain their position. So price pullback and respect that zone, right? It's a resistance that may push higher for price to reverse from there. So I think, and if you want to identify your support and you can identify like a strong support and resistance zone from higher time frame, right? This is just like a bonus I need to like give you guys. Maybe in our next class, if my team agree, right? Because this is what this class like this class we should not give it free because we have a mentorship a mentorship program that we teach our students. So this is just a free class that my we just need to class for free. So if they agree, maybe identify support and resistance, demand and supply in a live market.